Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind?
I don't even know what that means.
You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind.
Do you have to water them?
It's good to be curious about many things.
Your wisdom is profound.
You think my wisdom is profound? You should see my Triforce. Oh, I f***ed that up. Oh, that was going to be so good. Oh, f***ing f***. That was so good. Let me try that again. Second try, I couldn't even... You think my wisdom is good? You should see my... Damn it, why can't I talk?
No, I see where you're going with this. You don't even need to say it.
You think my wisdom is good? You should see my power and my courage.
God, that took you so long to get there, and the payoff was so not worth it. It was like the most not worth it.
Do you get it? It was a Zelda joke.
I didn't actually get it until you just explained it to me, but now it makes a lot of sense.
Listener, this is episode 45 of Unqualified, a video game podcast, which is both, I like that it's both a round number and a multiple of 5. Would you agree, John?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I see how enthusiastic you are. Thank God I booked, because that's what I call scheduling. I booked 2 guests on our show. Not 1, but 2, because that means that you're now down to 25% of the people talking. And that's really been my goal, is just to decrease your percent.
That's what you do as the producer of a show, right? You book guests?
Yes.
What does that make me? Am I the animal? Is this Cody and the taco? Like, what's my code name?
You're the intern stage manager.
I don't even know what that does. Am I the fluffer?
You manage all of the other interns being just you.
Well, I'm doing a damn good job.
And
if I do say so myself. I don't get enough feedback at this damn job. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not. Nobody tells me anything.
If you keep up the good work, I will promote you to vice president of the general area in which you're sitting, except for your desk. How's that?
Look, as long as I'm working my way up the corporate ladder, I guess I'm happy.
Okay, well, for the free podcast we do with zero budget or sponsors or income, yes, you're absolutely working your way up the ladder. And with that, I, Cody, since we know who John is, because we've just been talking about him for the last, I don't know, half hour, would like to...
more like 44 episodes.
Yeah, something like that. So JR/Jeffrey and Bailey are joining us from Byte The Bullet, the YouTube channel, which is
indeed
a Let's Play channel, correct? Exclusively?
That is correct. Yes.
Awesome. And it's Byte The Bullet, BYTE.
Yes.
Yes, because we think we're witty.
Yes, it's all punny.
Oh, that's cute.
I frankly think it is too. I don't know about you guys. I kind of like the channel.
Thanks.
Oh, all right. We think it's crap.
Good. It
needs a lot of work.
See,
we're trying to drive it into the ground, you see.
Now, John, do you ever watch Let's Play videos?
I do. I went through like a period of time where I watched a ton of them. Like I think I watched an entire playthrough of Silent Hill 2.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, which, is a nice 12-hour long experience if somebody's getting everything. I mean, it took f***ing ever, and I watched an entire thing. So, yeah, there was a period of time where I was way into them.
How was the commentary on it?
Not good. Not good. I mean, like, it's...
12 hours of not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like somebody doing voiceover of them playing a game. I don't know. Like you have to be good to carry that, right? Because if you're doing it for a long game, like how are you supposed to be on for that entire time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's difficult. I don't hold it against that person. They were just
right. And what I wanted to say about Byte the Bullet, and the reason I have you guys specifically on, is because I watched a couple of the videos, and you do, like, it's not strictly game footage, because you have intros. Like, the most recent game you've done is Rayman Legends?
Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Right, and you've got an intro that you two shot of you two interacting like actual human beings.
We try to not do that much. That's why we play video games.
They're shooting the video or interacting like human beings.
I would have to say the former.
But there's just enough of it to kind of establish, like, oh, these are the human beings that will be talking to me for the next 12 to 20 to 40 hours about this game. Now I kind of know them. And then you continue by keeping the energy level up, which I think is a huge challenge for the Let's Play things.
It's pretty ridiculous. No, I completely agree. Like, and we usually only record a few episodes in a row, because at that point we're just so tanked that...
Well, Jeff's tanked.
I'm tanked. I get a little angry sometimes.
Yeah, Jeff needs to cool down sometimes. I just put him in his corner, put the fan on him, then give it an hour or two and record again.
When you say tanked, do you mean angry or drunk?
Or both.
No, sorry. Tired and also angry.
Not often drunk, but...
tangry. Right, no,
Tangry.
much different. Yeah, no, it's all right. If you use the proper... We understand what you're saying now.
Yeah, now I get it. Okay, cool. Well, so there's your super shameless plug on the podcast. I've watched a little bit of Let's Plays on and off, but I don't know. Yours seems pretty cool, and you've done a couple games. But of course, it's just a hobby, so you just kind of put up videos whenever, right?
Yeah, we're... Bailey, why don't we tell them what we do?
Just like you, Cody, I'm the post guy, and Jeff is the enthusiast who sits next to me and watches me do it.
It's true.
Oh, John, you're an enthusiast. That's what you are.
But I'm not that enthusiastic.
Wow, then you're pretty fucking worthless. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So, I also work in video and editing, and so I just run this through my usual stuff. But I work for a nondescript television show that's somewhere on TV somewhere. I don't want to really implicate, but I'll edit a lot of stuff for them, so I just use the same footage and software, or not footage at all.
Technically he's out of work right now. It's a small show called Breaking Bad. You may have heard of it. It just finished a run. So now he's looking for more work.
A lot of work.
Figured I'd go to something bigger and better, like a Let's Play channel.
Right.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go somewhere from Breaking Bad. I mean...
Yeah, really, there's nowhere to go but up, let's be honest.
Pretty much. And to John's credit, just to put this out there, he does know way more about video games than me, so I kind of do need him just a little bit.
I love you, too.
So we'll maybe, talk about your podcast a little bit when we kind of wrap up this episode, but we usually start by kind of talking about our weekends a little bit. We won't do that a whole ton because we only have about an hour because John has to watch football. NFL is happening.
He totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I live in Minnesota, and the Minnesota Vikings are playing, and they're between two teams and 12 games played between two teams, there's one win, so it's going to be an awesome game. Everybody knows this. They've had one win between these two teams.
I'm very much rooting for that one team.
Shittiest game, but I still want to watch it.
So, to get to know our guests, JR, what did you do this weekend?
Oh, what did I do? So
You probably shouldn't tell the truth.
That's a lie. My truths are way more horribly boring than the falsehoods.
Are we blurring the lines of truth and lies?
Would it be true lies then?
All right, I'm done. Go tell your weekend.
You could tell us two truths and a lie.
I'm actually a pregnant marsupial, and on Friday I played GTA 5 online for a good 6 hours.
You did not play GTA 5 online. That's the lie. I know that's
Correct.
the lie.
Correct.
Are the servers
Nobody can
working
connect
now?
to GTA. Yeah, they are.
He said them
actually.
both so convincingly, I'm torn.
Yeah, we're actually recording from his marsupial pouch right now.
It's very warm.
Is that the third truth?
Maybe. Yes.
These facts have to line up somewhere.
So other than video games, did you do anything exciting this weekend?
Well, I actually just moved into a new apartment. So in Edgewater, Chicago. So I've been trying to maintain some stuff there and clean up and store my gratuitous amount of things.
Oh, that's right. By over the weekend, you mean the last 2 days you moved, right?
Yeah, it was actually last weekend that I moved, but there's still so much stuff to unpack.
Yeah, because I remember I tried to book you, as it were, as close to your move-in date as humanly possible to make it absolutely an inconvenience for you. Just
Utterly impossible to do.
utterly. So I wish I could have gotten you last week, but what can you do? And so you have gone from the suburbs, you're a city slicker now for the first time, right?
I am, and I'm driving like one too. It's getting bad now.
Which means you're not driving at all and you're taking public transit?
Yep, basically.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. But yeah, also driving is just... It's the mergers, it's the pace of traffic, because if you get stuck in the left lane and someone's making a left and there's no left turn lane, you're going to be there for a good 4 extra minutes than you don't want.
He is drifting into bad driverdom. He's currently parked in my living room.
Wow.
Which also happens to be my marsupial pouch, so
Yes.
it kind of works out.
You must
It's a
have
weird little thing.
Do you have a hybrid? Is that how that fits there?
I don't. I actually have.
You're sure you're not just homeless and living in a parking lot?
Shh, that's the other truth.
Well, I mean, by living room, I do mean right next to the Walmart that we live outside of, yeah.
Wait, you live outside of Walmart?
No. No. Yes.
I got really excited because there's not real Walmarts in the city of Chicago. They only allow Walmart Express.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like Walgreens plus something that's... I don't know. It's weird.
It's like Walgreens plus a hair cuttery.
It's like Walgreens, but sad.
All I can hear right now is depression. Bailey, did you do anything exciting over the weekend? Like, I don't know, move into a city or park your car in someone's marsupial?
I did no such thing in that realm. I did go camping in Michigan and saw a double rainbow.
Really?
Yes.
We're in Michigan.
Up past Grand Rapids, I think, Traverse City?
Oh, I love Traverse City.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, didn't you just go camping, John? Was that in not Michigan?
No, I haven't really gone camping in years.
You went to your wife's
Your expert
grandma's...
witness isn't very informed.
I don't listen to anything John says on this.
Going to a cabin on a lake, even though it is a very small, very shack-like cabin, is nowhere near the same as camping, at least when I think of the word camping.
All right,
Then again, you live in a city, so anything outside of a city is considered camping.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm camping in my office right now, as far as you're concerned.
By camping, I mean sleeping in my van, yes.
Right. Well, I mean, passed out drunk, right?
Yeah, well,
It's the only way to camp.
I mean, I just so faced.
But yeah, like being in a cabin in the woods for 4 days is much different than camping outside.
It's not.
Much different.
You're surrounded by trees and bears in both situations. There's literally no difference between
Maybe internet.
In the internet. Yes, no internet. So,
Yeah.
in my mind, there's literally no difference. So, sorry, I'm not sorry. Well, I went home for the weekend. I visited family, and I'm sitting there at around midnight on Saturday night. I know, I'm raging. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm such a party animal. And because I was visiting family, I wasn't whatever. So I'm sitting there, and the TV is on, and I'm about to turn off the TV because I'm tired. And what comes on but Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that show?
I loved that show.
I loved it. I stayed up until 2 a.m. watching 2 episodes of that show. I know, like, it's not okay to say this, and I know everybody's like, oh, Christopher Reeve is the real Superman and nobody else ever. Why does no one ever say Dean Cain?
Dean Cain is great. Dean Cain was my Superman.
Oh my God.
I didn't grow up with Christopher Reeve.
Why does nobody say Mark Hamill for the Joker?
That's also a valid question. That's also a very valid question. But yeah, so I watched that, and I want to put on the record, Dean Cain is my Superman. I think that show was awesome. Like, Terry Hatcher, and just, it's so 90s, you know?
It's super 90s.
Oh, you go back, and I feel like I'm watching Star Trek The Next Generation. Because it's just this exact same thing. Jonathan Frakes even guest stars on an episode where he collects Superman to add to his, like, collection of rare items.
That's fantastic.
I know, very 90s. So anyway, I was in a time warp this weekend apparently, and one of us was in a time warp. One of us was camping. One was in a marsupial pouch. And John, you didn't even really say what you did. You're just watching football.
He camped in his office.
Oh, that's right.
No, I worked. It was my weekend to work, and I cleaned out the room that is to be the nursery. So there was just a bunch of stuff that needed to be moved, and it all got
For
moved.
Jeff's marsupial child?
All got moved to a different room for Jeff's marsupial child, who will be staying with us. Just the child, though. I don't really have a pouch for him. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You can make a fake one.
And yeah, kind of set up the room with a bunch of stuff. My God, do babies get lots of stuff? Like lots of stuff. Like
You gotta start them early. Stuff, man. They like it.
This baby's still like 16 weeks away, and it's got more stuff than I do. So so yeah, that's pretty cool.
And you're going to get rid of all of it within 2 years.
Probably.
For the new stuff.
We registered for some stuff too for the baby shower, so that was kind of fun because you go into if it's your first baby, which for us it is.
Huzzah! Congratulations.
You go into the place where you are registering. For us, it was Babies R Us, and you realize that you don't know anything about anything. So we're walking down these aisles, and we're like, huh. There's like 55 different car seats. Literally, there's like 55 different car seats to choose from. And they're all different in some way, ranging, from prices. Like, there's $150, $200 difference between the cheapest and the most expensive one.
Wow.
And I don't know what the differences are. They all freaking look like car seats to me. So thankfully, my wife has been doing a ton of research to figure out what is like the best stuff, and she's like, oh no, we don't want that. Baby's hip flexors stretch out in the first 3 months if they sit in that one rather than this one. And I'm like, yeah, we don't want to screw with the hip flexors. So
Yeah.
but I knew that, so I picked the other one.
Babies need those.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was fun. It was enlightening, and that's why I realized people screw up on their first kid, and then you have to have another one so you make sure that you don't screw up with the second.
All right.
It's a practice baby.
Yeah, it's basically a control study.
Right, yeah, you screw up everything with that first kid, and then you're like, well, yeah, you can get kicked out of the house at 18, and then you are going to be my left-handed 95-mile-an-hour fastball 6'2" kid that's going to be my meal ticket.
Do baseball players have to be tall?
It helps.
Oh, all right. Didn't know that. I don't know. See, I don't know much about baseball. If I had a baby and it was a baseball player, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, but otherwise it was working.
Well, good. Now that we've all gotten to know each other so much better, borderline too much.
I feel like we've been friends forever.
Kind of already done with this. I don't know.
You pessimist.
They're out. They're not even going to stay to talk about video games. They're just done. They're just done.
I just feel like I don't like video games anymore after this.
We've ruined it, even though we've not
This
even
was the
talked about
killer.
video games
Yeah,
yet.
I don't know. Something about this conversation. Thought about double rainbows,
Double rainbows are sexy. I wish we were on terrestrial radio so someone could tune in like midway, just turn it on and hear four dudes talking about cars in marsupials, and just things got real weird.
And double rainbows.
Elegant tomfoolery, so to say.
Yes, exactly. So that does, but we are at a perfect transition point into so many things. And I found that the more you call out the smoothness of your transitions, the smoother they sound.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm already ready for whatever you have.
See, John, I've told you this.
I agree. Are we ready for the segue?
Yes.
Activate segue.
So the segue is, we all talked about our weekends, and we always ask you, listener, what you're doing over the weekend, or what you're playing over the weekend. See, we get to talk about what we did over the weekend outside of video games, and then we get to talk about what you did over the weekend inside video games, and Jamie and Justin both commented, and they are both playing the Pokemans.
Oh, I'm playing that.
Exactly, and that was where the transition was.
This whole interview, actually.
Yes. Because
I was thinking about it.
I just caught a Goomy.
Oh, you're playing right now?
He was tempted.
I was tempted. It's right next to me.
Is a Goomy a derogatory term for an Italian?
No, but it should be.
I think you're thinking of a derogatory term for one of Koopa's henchmen.
Ah, yes. That's what they call Goombas. Goomies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Italian.
We should talk about, because now John actually talked about Pokemon Y, the Pokemans Y, in our last episode, so we won't go into an excessive amount of detail, but Bailey, JR/Jeff/Joffrey /Prince Joffrey.
No, not Joffrey.
Joffrey?
Don't you damn.
Ooh, can we call him Jajoff? Or Jar Jar?
Oh man, there's some rough J names. Yeah, Jar Jar, Joffrey.
Jonathan.
Joffrey is spelled a G, I thought.
No, Joffrey's a J.
Bojangles.
Crap.
Bojangles.
That starts with a B.
But the J is the hardest in it. It's the hardest syllable.
Django.
Ooh.
Django.
Django Jeff?
But the D is silent.
Is Django Fett with a D, or is it just Django with a
Django is a J. I thought you were talking about Django Unchained. That's what I thought you were going for.
Oh no, I was going for Django Fett. I wasn't sure if he had the D or not.
No, he doesn't.
But does he like the D?
He might like the D. We're unconfirmed source.
Making sure. I don't know how that just happened, but
I think we were talking about Pokemon, and then we started talking about the D somehow.
yeah, most of our conversations end up regarding the D. I'm not sure how that happens. But
Plays Pokemon X and Y, wants the D.
Bailey, I have heard through the grapevine that you've been playing the Pokemans, and you and John should talk about that a little bit. I don't know, do you like
sure.
it? When's the last time you played a Pokemon game?
So, I've been playing a Pokemon game since the Red and Blue days, and that's when Jeff started, but that's where Jeff ended.
That's where I stopped.
Then I kind of kept going the whole way through up until now. So the last one I played before this was Black and White, then Black and White 2.
So you have actually done the progression, right? You've seen the Pokemon grow from iteration to iteration.
I've seen some yeah.
Man, you've been in the trenches. See, because because I'm sure you listened to our last episode. I am coming from the other side where I just played Red and Blue, and that was my last experience with Pokemon.
How are you liking it? That actually sounds interesting.
It's incredible, the changes that have been made. Yeah. And yet it still feels so familiar, which is what I talked about last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they add a lot of new elements, but then they keep certain things that just take you right back, like the noises, certain interface. But you can walk diagonally, and I shouldn't be excited about that, but I am.
So is it... Because obviously John's got a huge, culture shock going from Generation 1 to Generation 6? 7?
I think it's 6, yeah.
6, yeah.
6.
Gen 6?
Yeah.
So how awesome is the jump from Gen 5 to Gen 6?
It's actually still pretty big, just in the sense that, aside from there's new Pokemon, and the new Pokemon, I did my best, which is something I don't do usually, so this might be the reason that I like the 6th gen so much, is that usually the internet kind of makes it hard to not get spoiled on a game. So I looked at absolutely nothing, and I know nothing about the Pokemon, so I just see stuff, and I'm like, I wonder what that turns into, so that's been a lot of fun. But just the new engine, it's all in 3D, it's just very detail-oriented. Everything's kind of polished. The battle system, it's just pretty nice.
Oh, it's so snappy, and that's the best part about it is... And keep in mind, I haven't played one for so long, but the time-consuming nature of the battles... just they would take forever, and I don't know how long. I don't know if they had fixed this a long time ago, but in Pokemon X and Y, the battles are so fast, and you could even there's some beautiful spell effects, right? But you can actually turn those off, and I'm assuming that makes the battles even faster, which is awesome.
Yeah, it takes the romance out of it, but you are correct. It is a lot faster, and Red and Blue, it was like you click the attack, and it's like slash, and it's like 1, 2, 3 seconds, then it goes 1, 2, 3 seconds, and it's like, oh no, life goes steadily down. I think they just kind of cut those animations to very short duration, and they made all the animation a lot more dynamic. So even if it's taking a little bit more time, you're like, whoa, look at all these fires and stuff.
And you may have said this already. Are you playing X or Y?
I am playing the one with the deer, which I think is X.
You're playing the
little shiny deer.
You're playing the one with the D.
Yes, the D. I am a fan of the D, it would seem.
Oh, man.
So what made you pick X? Because I'll tell you what made me pick Y. Nothing. I was in the store. I was in the store, and well, I told the story last week, so I won't tell it again. But I had no idea, so I just chose one randomly. So what made you choose X?
So fun story. The reason that I chose X because it's between the funky deer thing and this giant mega firebird, which I thought more people would think is cool. I chose X because the legendary reminds me of... Have you guys ever seen Princess Mononoke?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of the forest spirit.
Sure. I can see that.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, deer with like a million too many antlers, I'll get you. Maybe its head will come off and a giant blue goopy thing will come out.
And a giant what will come out?
Remember in Princess Mononoke, the deer gets his head cut off and this gigantic blue goopy thing comes out?
You know, I've seen...
Miyazaki loves goop.
I've seen that movie twice, and I still don't know what the hell was going on.
Lots of goop
All
happened.
the goop.
Yeah, but that's most of the movies I watch.
Well, I mean, there's a market for that, and you just happen to be a part of it. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I guess. But I've seen some memes online and a couple people bitching about the new Pokemon designs, because, like, there's a new one that's like a keychain with a bunch of keys.
Oh.
No, there's one
Yeah.
that's... one that's a sword that's like attached. It looks like a keychain, but it's a sword. I'm actually using that Pokemon. It's fucking awesome.
No, that one's cool, but there actually is a ring of keys. Yeah, Honedge. Honedge is awesome. That's like built on mythology. That's a cool one.
Oh.
But there's
Oh.
actually a key ring. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
So there's a key ring and a sword one.
Yes. The inanimate
Okay.
objects are kind of hit or miss.
Okay, because I then saw a couple comments and somebody said something about, and maybe they just put a hashtag, but they said something about Gen 1ers bitching about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting because now within Nintendo fans, which is in, a rabid fan base, myself among them, now among Nintendo fans, we're going to see this. It's so insane that video games have been around long enough to now there's going to be an actual, like, generational split between the, like, red, blue, yellow purists.
Like Jeff.
I'm not a purist. I
I'm
just
just kidding.
stopped playing there.
Lack of interest
We'll just say like Jeff anyway.
Yeah.
To go on a slight tangent and a nice anecdote about old people that played video games when they were young now getting into, like, older people stuff and, like, the workforce. So I listen to the local radio station, local sports radio around here on my way to work sometimes.
Sure.
And you know how there's always, like, color dude that has the soundboard that makes lots of sound effects. Well, you know that our generation has finally hit the mainstream when the background music to their news portion of their newscast is the Toe Jam and Earl song from just like the walking around of Toe. Yeah, it's Toe Jam and Earl, and they even make reference to the fact that it's Toe Jam and Earl. So like it's unashamedly, and then it's unashamedly Toe Jam and Earl, and then they will use Ryu's Hadouken sound effect from Street Fighter 2 and go on tangents about Street Fighter 2 in the middle of their newscasts. So, and this is the ESPN affiliate of
ESPN 3,
Fantastic.
4.
Yeah, this is the ESPN affiliate of our local radio. So just our generation has hit the big time is what I'm trying to say. But yes, continue with your Pokemon talk.
Oh, I've actually pulled up. It's called Klefki, and Jeff actually facepalmed upon seeing it.
I did. It was, dear God.
It's cute in a not cute at all kind of way.
It's a steel and fairy type.
Yeah, fairy type. Actually, there's a fun story about it. Do you guys know about fairy type and why it's called that?
I know that.
I don't know why it's called that, but I did explain it last week, but I don't know why it's called fairy type.
A friend of mine studies the Japanese language, and apparently, dark and evil and light and good. I think it was kind of a weird. When they brought it to America, it kind of directly translates to fairy, but in Japanese, fairy means kind of the opposite of dark. It's kind of a light. It's basically a light type.
And it had to fight Dragon because Dragon's kind of evil. Because didn't they introduce it because in the competitive scene, dragons were too overpowered and they needed a counter?
Yeah. They nerfed dragons, they brought them down, and they also nerfed steel types. They got rid of a lot of their resistances. But steel is good against fairy because I guess fairies are squishy. I don't know. They're also weak to poison because nothing's good again, like nothing can, like cyanide kills everything maybe? I don't know.
That's pretty awesome. Now we have a linguist. Now this podcast is called Unqualified, and you're making us dangerously close to being qualified at this point.
Well, that's okay. You guys run it. You're not qualified.
That's true.
You could call me.
Yeah, we can have unqualified guests. That's
precisely
fine.
Yes, and that's just secondhand information. I don't study Japanese.
You're not a Pokemonologist?
Yeah. Let's be honest. I'm pretty overqualified at Pokemon, and that's not something to be proud of.
It is on this podcast.
Yeah. Right on. Wonderful.
Yeehaw. I want to add a note, John, to what you were saying about the radio. I mean, I work at WGN in Chicago, and whenever the host of my show is like, hey, why don't you produce a segment open for this? Like, we do a segment called Florida News, where we just take ridiculous news stories from Florida, because Florida is the trailer park of America.
That's why I love WGN.
With alligators.
Right. So, and thank you for that.
The radio show that I listen to out of California does the exact same thing, a Florida segment.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
We had never heard of it. We've done a couple segments that we've later heard, like, oh, this other station does it too, but it's not because of that. We just all have the same idea, because it's Florida. And he's like, produce an open, so I found a couple, like, clips of people mentioning Florida, and then I play the Chocobo music from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
And, like, that's the open. And like, Brian has no idea. The guy that hosts, he has no idea it's video game music, because some of it is passable as real, quote-unquote, real music. There's another spot, a commercial I did for the show, kind of a commercial, but a little promo I did for the show, and it's a minute long, and it uses the main theme song from Metal Gear Solid 3. But it sounds like it's a movie trailer, because it's so, it's Metal Gear Solid, so it's all very theatrical. So, honestly, I reached the point at one point in my radio career where I was less excited about talking on air than I was about having an excuse to play video game music on the air. And, like, that's no joke. Like, whenever there's a thunderstorm and the newsroom breaks in, Brian starts joking about Storm Center and Storm Central, and I play Advent Children, One Winged Angel.
Yes.
Any chance I can get. So I think all it takes really is one video game enthusiast who knows he can get away with it, and they'll just do it, like, as much as possible. So that's the other side of the story from the professional perspective.
My point was, though, that everybody else that is doing the show knows that it is video game music.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they talk about it.
That's definitely, like, cooler. But in other cases, sometimes you can just wedge yourself in there if you've got, just that one guy that's just such a fucking nerd. He just can't help himself.
He can't help but put all his ideas and thoughts into everything.
Speaking of thoughts, it was good to hear thoughts on Pokemans. But JR played a game that none of us have played. John, you didn't even know what he's going to be talking about.
I've seen him play it.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you've seen him play it.
I've seen him shirk on his social responsibilities in order to play it.
It was bad. Let's not talk about that right now.
How much have you been playing this game?
Too much.
So I think I started up over, I think it was like late August.
Too long.
And about 2 weeks in, it was 2 weeks past the end of August, and I'm like, all right, fine, my friend joined up, I might as well too. So I downloaded it on Steam, and since then...
What is the game?
The game is Star Trek Online, and I've put in about... on my Steam count...
You want to say this?
Yes, I do.
Can you send to this part?
Stop it. I put into my Steam account about 120 hours of the game.
You've done that in 5 days, right? Let's see, 5, 24. So there's 120 hours in 5 days.
Yep.
And you downloaded the game 5 days ago? Okay.
5 days.
You do have to account for poop breaks.
Okay, so 120 hours in 5 and 2 hours. 5 days and 2 hours. Okay. That seems like a lot.
It's well, here's the thing. I can't justify this at all. I don't know. I just the way I typically play games is I will binge them and just play them nonstop. Play one specific game until I either beat it or I just get tired of it. And so that's how I typically go through most of the video games that I buy. I'll play them incessantly, beat the campaign, enjoy it, and then if there's a multiplayer segment, I'll go on multiplayer and enjoy it there. And then I typically, all the little 13-year-old screaming children kind of wane me off of it, and then I leave. And then
This is the cycle.
Yes, this is a vicious cycle, and then I buy a new game. With Star Trek Online, because it's MMORPG.
It's a Memorpiga.
It's a Memorpiga. I've been playing it for so long, and there's somewhat of an end game. It's mostly trying to get better weapons and upgrading your ship. And I'm slowly starting to run out of steam. Don't get me wrong.
Was that a pun?
Yes. No, I was not intended. I'm getting a little tired of it, just because there's such a grind, and it's the same thing I do every night for about 2 hours.
That's the hard part of Memorpigas.
I'm flying a damn spaceship, and there's not too many games out there that I get to fly a spaceship. Well, like, that are, like, decent games to play as your spaceship. I'm waiting for Star Citizen to come out, but for right now, Star Trek Online is holding me
I
off.
think Star Fox has been around for a while.
Okay, so I have no idea what this game is. And I'm familiar with just so you know my background. I'm familiar with MMORPGs, right?
Yes.
You're talking to a former WoW player who had multiple characters, had over I want to say like 35 days played on my main character.
Right on.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, that's a ton of
In
time.
5 days. He also put in that much time in 5 days.
35 days in 5 days.
Yeah.
He actually
Right.
looped time to play more.
I kind of had a problem. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a problem. So, but no, I played obsessively and also shirked social responsibilities for that game. So I understand where you're coming from. Is this like standard MMO fare?
Sort of. There's the two different worlds where basically you have your starship, which is more or less the USS Enterprise. You can go through the sequence of the USS Enterprise's ships through A, B, D, E, and like just go through all of them, specifically picking whichever ship you want. And then there's also the ground combat version, which is basically away teams. So you're balancing both ends of the spectrum. Typically, the space missions are more fun, just because you're up there fighting Borg cubes with a bunch of disruptor turrets, while the ground combat is a lot of shoot these enemies, pull them, fight them with your away team with like 4 other people that are just computer controlled. And just shoot. It's run and gun, and I find that a little bit less entertaining than the space missions. Because in the space missions, there's stuff called fleet actions, where basically it's PvE, so it's player versus environment.
Or enemy.
Or enemy. And you're going up to specific missions to earn different types of credits. And you're fighting the Borg, you're shutting down different, like, trying to stop time vortexes from happening, or rescuing Romulan ships, or whatnot, and so I find that portion of the game much more entertaining and fun.
Nerd.
Yeah, Bailey, that's why we're here.
I mean, is this the kind of game where you can, like, there's got to be a way where you get your own ship, right? I mean, that has to be a thing.
No, that's it.
Don't you start with a ship?
You start with a ship.
Yeah.
You are controlling the ship.
Is
You're
that
the
the
captain.
huge draw for you because you're like the captain of your own ship in the Star Trek universe?
Kinda.
He
yeah.
totally smirked pretty wide when
I
he said
smirked
that.
pretty
Like
hard.
he just realized it.
I don't know. I've been obsessed with space combat and space simulators since I played Wing Commander back a long time ago. And so
Well, I mean, come on, who doesn't want to be Jean-Luc Picard, right? I mean, everybody wants to
Exactly.
be Jean-Luc Picard.
Everybody wants to be Jean-Luc Picard. It's insane. So, yeah, I mean, there's a
can be
huge
him.
draw there. And you can be. And it's free to play. So there's literally no cost
Wait, it's
to
free?
try out the game. It's free to play.
Now, when like for like a trial or some stuff.
There's no trial. It is literally you go on Steam, you click Star Trek Online, you click play game, it starts downloading, you have the full game. There is, of course, stuff that you have to theoretically purchase if you want, like, I don't know, bigger inventory,
you
bigger
gotta get
bank,
the
player slots.
the gold card.
The gold card, yeah, but so you can still subscribe to the game, but if you I played $120 and I've spent no money on this game. It's pure fun.
Unless if you think his time is money.
Yes.
In which case, you are bankrupt.
I have no monies.
Because fuck those developers that made a good enough game for me to spend $120. I'm not giving them a dime. Or 120. No, there's a weird mentality. There's a weird mentality with free to play games where it's like, all right, well, if it's free, I'm gonna milk as much freaking time out of this as I can and not pay a dime, and that makes me the winner. And I think everybody does it. I know I
do hold a lower standard for free games.
Yeah, for sure.
I did the exact opposite with World of Tanks.
He loves that game.
I played that for a very long time, and I've stopped. And it's a free to play game, but I put in probably
$700,000.
Close, more like I don't know, 100, 150 into a free to play game.
So obviously it wasn't free to play for you.
It's real stupid. I cannot justify it. I played it. I enjoyed it.
I don't think you can call that stupid. You liked that product enough.
Yeah, to support them.
You probably got enough playtime out of it to where it's totally justifiable. I mean, that's 3 retail price video games, right? And I mean, you probably got way more time out of that game than you did out of 3 crappy full retail price video games.
You spend $10 on a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can say that. I mean, money has different values to different people, and if you're playing a game and you're really liking it that much, and it's a free to play game, why not drop some money on it?
Yeah, support the developer.
Exactly.
I would compare it to subscribing to World of Warcraft, like $15 a month, and that's just gone. And like a month later, you've spent that every month. It adds up, but you're enjoying the game. You're playing it. You're doing raids or going crazy with the auction house, and you're having a good time. So you're completely right. You're completely right.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have a lower standard for free to play games. Does that mean, like, where does Star Trek Online fall? Does it highly exceed your expectations, or is it about?
Oh, that was me. I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it was Bailey. It was you can't expect some. I'm gonna tread on ice right now. It's just. It's free to play in this market is now considered. It's starting to become considered the norm because you can actually make a lot more money because people aren't like, oh, $60. I don't want to spend that kind of money on one thing. And then as soon as I use, for example, which I also used to play, Lord of the Rings Online. As soon as that went to play, the amount of money they made a month, I think, quadrupled because people were paying for the extra stuff and they're paying for mundane crap.
A +7 sword of smiting.
Yeah, and changing the appearance of their character, and they wanted to do that because they wanted to belong in that universe. So free to play is it's certainly become a much bigger market because there's no cost of entry. But to unlock specific stuff that you think is probably cool, it starts to kind of turn into that horse armor kind of thing where you're just getting cosmetic items for like $3. But I want my character to look badass. And it's like, well, you don't need to spend $3 to do that. You just need to put more time into the game.
Yeah, we talk about free-to-play models a lot on our podcast, actually. Jon is familiar with pretty much every free-to-play like pay model ever. We talked a bunch about Plants vs. Zombies 2, which is his least favorite way of doing that probably ever, versus like League of Legends, which is very similar to Star Trek Online, where pretty much free, like all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't play MMOs. I played the World of Warcraft demo for like 4 days and just scrapped it. I don't know why I didn't get into it, but I didn't. I don't do a lot of MMOs, but a lot of people tell me that once you've beaten the game, that's when the game begins. Like I've heard that before. So you said that some of it's getting a little grindy now, and you've kind of gotten towards the beating it. Are you at that point where the game is about to like really begin or whatever, or like how is that working with the end game?
Sure. Well, I hit max level. I hit 50. Actually, it happened really, really quick. I think it took me maybe 3 weeks of just like kind of playing a few hours every night to hit max level, and that's level 50. And once you hit level 50, it unlocks the elite fleet actions. So typically, you could only do the normal ones. but you're going to do the elite, which gets you. It's harder. The bosses are harder. The enemies are hit harder, but the rewards are higher. The issue is, if you want to really succeed in those elite fleet actions, you need to be willing to start min-maxing the crap out of your character.
What is min-maxing?
Min-maxing is focusing on one area and just leaving everything else.
So you can
to
party with
rot.
people?
So, well, not party. Yes, partying. So like one guy is DPS, one guy is tank, one guy is maging.
So you just gotta spec the shit out of your stuff.
Yeah. Basically, you have to build a ship with specific types of beam arrays or cannons or proton torpedoes or a whole bunch of other stuff, and just deck it out so you do the most DPS possible, and then you will get a higher rank in those fleet actions. And when you get a higher rank, you'll get more rewards, better item drops, and which will further you into that area. As for and that's the weird thing. Once you hit that point where you've maxed out your ship as high as it can go, and you have as much dilithium crystals as you could possibly imagine, and you have a 8,000 DBS ship, there's nowhere else to go after that. You're still doing the same stuff over and over. So people make new characters on either the Romulans or the Klingon side, or they'll buy new ships and deck those out in different ways, and build them to use cannons or specifically beam arrays. So it's this weird. You hit this point and you're like, oh well, I want to buy these specific things, but I need to do better in these arenas, so to continue to buy new things, to continue to do better in these arenas, and then you just enter this vicious circle of doing the same thing over and over and over. And that's kind of where I'm at.
So long story short, he's in the circle.
Where World of Warcraft has raids to finish out its endgame content, what does Star Trek Online have?
That's the fleet actions. That's what you're entering a PvE queue.
Which is the same thing you've been doing.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
I'm at endgame.
So he's in his little endgame loop.
Okay.
Yeah, so the endgame loop is basically you're doing the raids with a whole bunch of people. You're trying not to die. You're trying to get the better drops, and then you're trying to build up specific amount of reputation points, like I was saying those credits before, to level up other certain I don't know how to describe it. Like there's a lot of levels, using specifically like there's stuff called duty officers where you have your crew. You can have up to 100 people if you don't pay any money on your crew, and those crew can either go on missions to get you more experience points and more reputation points, or they can become part of your ship or ground crew, and they will give you certain bonuses like faster reloads or enhancing this specific attack or stuff like that. And so it's this really weird branching out thing, and as you level up those specific categories, you'll get more rewards from that, and you'll get more duty officers to upgrade your ground and space combat to do better in those arenas, and then you want to do better in the space combat to get more rewards from the space combat.
Whoa.
Like I said, it's endgame, and it's really cyclical.
Okay, so they don't do endgame fantastically. That actually sounds kind of nice. So it's not one of those MMOs where like you beat the game and it still takes over your life, because you could probably walk away from it sooner than later, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I can uninstall it as I go home tonight.
You couldn't walk away that time you were late to hang out.
Can we? I didn't know I would get thrown into that when you were on your way over.
I was like, Jeff, you ready to go? He's like, I need a minute. And I was like, you taking a shower? And he's like, oh, just come inside. It's all right. I just need a couple minutes. And I'm like, is he putting any makeup on or something? And I just walk in, and he's like, oh, I'm partying. I can't go anywhere.
I was in the middle of a raid. Jonathan, back me up.
Oh, he's
Don't
silent.
abandon the raid.
I don't blame you. We've all been there. John, I'm sure you've been there too.
Oh my God, you don't. Yeah, I have. I could tell you a number of stories.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do. We're gamers. That's what happens. I'm sure it's happened to you at times, Bailey.
I just like to give him a hard time about it.
He does.
Oh yeah, I just like torturing Jeff.
It's fun. Is it?
Yet another reason why people should tune into Byte the Bullet.
The witty...
Byte with a Y.
Because we're classy like that.
Because they're super classy like that. And my only last question about Star Trek Online is, who do you play as? Like, because there's not Alliance and Horde, but can you be like Federation, Romulan, Klingon?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think right now there's 3 types. We're basically in the rebirth of the birth of New Romulus. So it's using the normal universe, not the alternate universe that the movies that are being made today are being set in, where Commander Spock went through the black hole,
right,
and transferred. So it's in the actual reality where Romulus was destroyed. And so now they're building new Romulus, and that's the current like campaign thing. And so they just added Romulans as a playable class. They already had Starfleet, and they had the Klingon Empire. And so with Starfleet, you can basically pick any number of races that are a member of Starfleet, and then you can pick the Klingons. And I'm currently playing as a Vulcan engineer. There are 3 different classes you can pick: tactical, engineer, and science. But once you pick that, basically you can spec your character out however you want. It's mostly the abilities that you get for ground and space combat that are just kind of, as you level up, you get them. So yeah, I've been playing as a Vulcan engineer, which is kind of aimed at being a tank, but I want to be more of a DPS class that doesn't get shot at a lot, but can put out a lot of damage. So
tanks are the best. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you're tempting me to play this game.
Try it out, just for a little bit. I mean, it's again, no cost. You'll lose
Except
nothing.
your time.
That's what it's about. Yeah, you'll lose nothing but time. So,
I mean, the only other game I've been playing lately is Civilization 5, so it can't be more addictive than that.
oh, Civ 5.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So that's a time eater.
Oh man.
I was gonna say it can't be worse than that.
Probably not. No.
Can't be worse than Dark Souls.
Can't be worse than
Dark Souls. Fucking everyone is talking about Dark Souls.
I can talk a lot about it.
I would like to talk about that next week.
All right.
Oh, should have me back for that.
Yeah, I would like to talk to you about it. I would like to talk next week about that.
Because John just threw out the name. I didn't even know it was a game. Like 2 weeks ago, and everyone on Google Plus is talking about Dark Souls.
Yeah, we don't need to go too far into it, but I've wasted more time on that game than Jeff has in Star Trek.
It's true.
Wow.
Bailey's a fiend.
And I have re-fallen in love with that game. So
It's so good.
Awesome.
How many times have you beat it, Bailey?
So this isn't a numbers game, Jeff.
Is it?
Okay, at least 33 times. And I also beat it at level 1 without healing it.
And we're not playing Two Truths and a Lie right now. That is factual evidence.
I did heal at the last 2 bosses.
John, is that impressive?
So I haven't beat the game once yet. But that is not for lack of time investment or trying. It is just because I am not good at the game. And it is a game that punishes... We'll talk about it later, but it punishes hubris.
It does.
Yeah, it definitely puts you in your place if you think you're too good at it.
You have to play it just in a very different way than you play any other video game, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. And it, like I said, we can talk about it again another time, but it's really good.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's a good preview. Then I guess of next week's episode, if John decides to talk about Dark Souls, or he could pull a Cody and just say he's going to talk about it and then wait 2 months, like I did with To the Moon. You guys, JR and Bailey, you co-host / do the Byte the Bullet Let's Play series on YouTube. It's just youtube.com/Byte the Bullet, right?
It's
/ the bullet bites.
The bullet bites because we wanted to make it confusing.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Someone else had Bite the Bullet.
Got
So
it.
we are the Bullet Bites, but Byte is still spelled the same way.
And if you just go onto YouTube and you type Byte the Bullet, you'll see Jeff's lovely face with Dark Souls discs laden around him.
It's true. That is our header because we are not partners. So
Yes, listener, do not get confused if you see them in a thumbnail, because again, there's some previews that they do, like intros, which I think, like I said, honestly, it's I've never seen another Let's Play channel that does that.
thank you.
And that's saying something for a type of video that is quite popular. Like, there are thousands of Let's Play channels, and I've never seen one that does intros. Like, so good on you guys.
Oh, shucks.
That's,
Thanks. We got one more coming out soon.
Quite soon, yes.
And my tarantula makes a cameo.
wow. I'm kind of frightened.
Well, Jeff was frightened too.
Yeah, I bet.
Tarantula. It's a little intimidating.
They're fuzzy and cute. I don't know what he's talking about.
Don't know. Talking about.
They have little. Okay, I won't go into spiders. But
Good.
I nerd out about spider anatomy enough in the Let's Play.
Sounds pretty terrifying.
It's pretty freaky.
Terrifyingly adorable.
Yeah, we don't want to totally alienate our squeamish user base. Although if you're squeamish, you've probably stopped listening by now. Let's face it.
All right, then let me talk about intriculated hairs on spider
Jesus.
abdomens. All right.
Oh my god, and look at the time. John has...
I gotta go. Oh my god, it's so late.
Yeah, football.
I'd really love to hear about tarantulas, but
There's a football game on.
Well, everybody go to youtube.com/thebulletbites with a Y, and go to youtube.com/unqualified podcast, because now we have video podcasts, which are really just audio podcasts with like 4 still images overlaid on them. But
that being said, that is probably the fastest way to get a hold of our new episodes. Is that correct?
sometimes. But yes, for the sake of argument, yes. It goes up about the same time as our iTunes feed, but based on the metrics I've been looking at, not a lot of you listeners are into the iTunes thing, so we don't really care how you listen or subscribe, just do it somewhere. And now YouTube is one of those channels where you can do it, and I guess a lot of people are into this YouTube thing.
It's kind of a big deal, maybe.
I've been a big YouTube guy these days.
Yeah. So there's that. So go do that and follow us on Google+. We're all about the Google+. I'm trying to actually get JR. I already told JR. I said.
Yeah.
JR's like, we should probably do this. And I'm like, okay, sure. We also have a Facebook.
Oh, you do?
I was like, sure, we can do that too.
We don't actually have a Facebook page because I work in social media, so I have to deal with Facebook all day. So I try to stay away from it when I don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys have a Facebook page.
We do.
Yes, it's facebook.com/thebulletbites, I believe. But it's the same as all the Facebook is just we have a new episode, and if you just want to get notified on Facebook, that'll do. And I'll post stupid stills of Jeff getting his ass kicked in Dark Souls.
Quite often, actually.
See, that I would follow.
With playful little captions.
That I would follow. Awesome. All right, well, see, that was a great official sign-off, but we never end with anything official. Like, we don't end with, like, thanks for listening, here's where you find us.
No.
We end with, like, we'll just keep talking until somebody says something, usually me, really fucking just stupid, and then I just play the theme song.
It's really bad, usually. Whatever you usually say.
You guys were talking about fucking manatees and...
Wait,
no.
Who was fucking manatees? Who was fucking manatees?
Who wasn't
It was marsupial.
manatees?
I guess that's the better question.
Is there a reason why you're not pronouncing the T of that word? Is there a reason why we're calling it a manatee? What the fuck is a manatee?
I never said manatee, I said manatee.
An amenity? An amenity.
Anemone.
An anemone.
An anemone.
An enemy.
Anemone.
Anemone. So
The enemy of my
Anatomy.
enemy is an anemone.
Anatomy? Spider anatomy. We're back to that?
No, can we not be?
Are we playing word association now?
We're basically playing word association.
All right.
So intriculated hairs.
No, none of those. No hairs that are possibly intriculated on a spider's abdomen, no mas.
Is that the hair around my testicles?
If it is, I would probably call a doctor.